Hello, everyone. I'm Ellen Sentier, and I want to talk to you today about midwinter. We're practically on midwinter now because it's the 17th of December, and midwinter's Eve is the 20th of December, and midwinter's day is the 21st. What is midwinter? It's an ancient feast. It's an astronomical feast, even. Did you know? The thing about midwinter is that it really is the middle of winter. People tell us nowadays that midwinter begins, that midwinter is the beginning of winter. It isn't. It's actually exactly what it says, midwinter. Winter begins at what we call Samhain in the old ways I was brought up in. That's the 31st of October. So from 31st of October to the 21st of December, and then on to the 1st of February, that is winter. And you'll find that midwinter occurs literally in the middle of it. It's an astronomical event, not just a wonderful ancient festival that we all celebrate. What actually happens in the sky, up in the universe, is that the sun and our planet change how they work. From midsummer right through the 6 months to midwinter, there's less and less light every day on planet Earth. Now that's because at midwinter, the sun rises so far let me get this right. At midsummer, the sun rises so far north that we have loads and loads of daylight and hardly any night. And then the sun travels southwards, southwards, between midsummer and midwinter, until finally at midwinter, it arrives at the lowest point, the furthest point south. And that means we have very little light, barely 8 hours, probably only 7 here. And further north, of course, none at all. And that's because the sun moves in relation to our planet. Now, of course, our ancestors, who lived much closer to Earth and to the sky and to the stars than we do now, they would see this naturally. You can tell it's getting darker every day. Even we can manage that. And then there comes a time when it's changed. And it changes, and we start getting lighter every day, from midwinter to midsummer, as the sun moves further and further north each day as it rises. So that's very roughly what happens in the sky, in the universe, above us, that makes midwinter happen. Our ancestors would have found this really, really useful because your life changes, my life changes as it gets darker every day. Nowadays, we want to sit by the fire, we want to be indoors, we want to have warm drinks, and we're probably reading books or watching movies, something like that. But we have this sort of inwards feeling of let's be cozy in the dark and let's enjoy it. And then in the summer, oh, it all opens up and we wake up really early and we want to get up and the birds are singing and we're going outside. Of course, this happened to our ancestors. It happens to animals. It happens to the plants. The plants, the trees, the plants, they all work by this kind of rhythm, by the sun's rhythm, and so do animals. We, because we now live in towns and cities and we just live in artificial light most of the time, we've forgotten. We don't know this anymore. But we can. And midwinter, midsummer too, but we're at midwinter, so midwinter is a really good time to get to know this again. in detail, what we have is the 20th of December, which we call Midwinter's Eve. And that is a time when we can prepare for our midwinter celebration. And then there's the 21st, 1st of December, Midwinter's Day, the shortest day, the longest night. Remember that, that's important. And then for 3 days after that, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of December, the sun apparently appears to rise on the same point of the horizon every day for 3 days. And then on the 25th, the sun begins to move northwards again, and we start to get more and more light every day. You can actually see this in astronomical timetables. It actually shows you this actually happening. So not only is it a tradition and beautiful celebration for us, it's real. It's out there in the sky. And we know it now because we know how to look scientifically. Our ancestors didn't need that. They knew how to look, period. But we need that, probably to help us believe it. But it really is there. So, Midwinter's Day is the shortest day. Then for 3 days, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the sun stands still. And on the 25th of December, it moves back northwards again. We call it the solstice, and that's why we call it a solstice. Solstice means to stand still, made up of 2 Latin words, sol and sistere, which is the sun standing still. It's very old, of course, been with us forever. You see, that's actually been happening for about 4.5 billion years. Did you realize that? That's how long the sun and our Earth have been working together. So this tradition, this midwinter, has been going on for 4.5 billion years. And for the 5 million or so years that humans have been around, we've noticed. I guarantee our ancestors will have noticed, even if many of us don't realize it now. They were much more in touch with the world. We can get back in touch with that too. I find it really important that I use this time of year to think about, ponder on, work on what I'm going to be doing next year. We have traditions like New Year resolutions. This is sort of that, but it's much more than that. I don't just make New Year's resolutions and then forget them by about February. I've learned not to do that. Well, I was brought up in a lovely witchy family who practiced the old ways of our country here in Britain. Oh, millennia, lots of them, lots and lots of millennia. Okay, the sacred well in the village where I grew up, was owned and guardianed by my aunt. It was built into the wall between her garden and my garden, or my parents' garden. That well and its story goes back over 4,000 years. I know this because it was the theme for my first novel, Owl Woman. And so I did a lot of research. Novelists do a lot of research about what's going on, what we're actually talking about. So I researched this old story in the British Library. And I found that the story goes right back, they can check it, at least 4,000 years, and probably longer than that. So I've been in this stuff. It's been in my bones all my life. So it's natural for me. It may not be so for you. Maybe it hasn't been for you. Maybe it's only just starting again for you. But you got it now. You're here. So I use Midwinter to start planning what I'm going to be doing next year. Now, I don't plan this just on my own. Being a witchy person, I've got familiar spirits, my spirit family, my allies, and I ask them. They're all beings who have a much deeper and broader memory than I have. They can see the bigger picture much better than I can. They're much more, in that sense, connected across the worlds, across time, across space-time than I am. So I say, I really want to do this, but is this actually in line with what you want me to do? Because they would like us to work lined up with them. And we would like to work lined up with them too, because it makes life a lot easier. If we're all working together, there's a lot more energy going into the project that we want to do. And also, if I'm doing it with them and in line with their plans, if we've negotiated what needs to be done in that way, then what I do will be much more useful, not only to me, but to everything else as well. And that matters to me. Yes, of course, I want for myself, but I want for everything else as well. Our planet, our world, the plants, the animals, the land, my friends, my fellow humans, and me. My allies, my familiar spirits, my spirit family, they can see what needs to be done. You know, what other people, other things, other animals, other lands need from me. So if I talk to them about it, they will help me get it right. Another thing about getting it right is that when you get it right, and you probably all experience this, things go much easier. You don't find half the stumbling blocks and the hiccups and all the rest of the stuff that gets in your way. You're just able to do it. And it just goes, ooh, and you find things coming in to help you. So I use the midwinter time to do this planning. Been thinking about it, of course, for a while now, things that I want to do. And the thing that I want to do most is actually do and create and make available this deep, intense alchemy initiation, really. It's not a course, it's an initiation for people. I've done it once at a test, a practice with my students who really wanted me to do it anyway. And I did it with them, and it worked so well, so much better than I'd expected, even. I thought it would go okay, but this was like, whoa. You can read a little bit about it on my webpage on Substack, because I've done some posts already on it. But this is what I want to do. I want to do this deep alchemy initiation for people. It's called Phoenix Rising. I'm just starting to get it together now. So I'll be asking, and I'm already starting, I want to do Phoenix Rising. So my gang, my helpers, my allies, my spirit family, my familiars, my gang, as my dad used to call them. Come on, guys, tell me, am I getting this right? Have I got it in the right way, the right manner, right timing, and such like? And is this what you want? Will this help? So that's what I'm going to do on the 20th of December, Midwinter's Eve. I shall curl myself up. I've got a lovely wood-burning stove out in the living room. Just curl myself up there in the sofa with a nice mug of something and just sit and watch the flames. Whether you watch flames, but I used to do a lot of camping and bushcraft, as they call it, and we used to call it bush TV. And you can just sit there and watch the flames happening and happening and happening. And it takes you right off into a state, a meditative state, where other world can really speak to you. So I shall sit there Am I right to want to do Phoenix Rising? Is it how you want it? Is it what you want me to do? So that's the 21st of December. And then 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the days when the sun stands still, I shall take that idea again into my meditation, my quiet time, my journey time with my allies, my gang, and say, show me the first steps of how to do this right. And I shall give myself at least half an hour just to be there watching the flames and allowing the ideas to seep into me. I'll have a notebook, journal beside me, and a pen. And as ideas come, just a little drawing, a little doodle, a couple of words to remind me. It's quite possible to do that at the same time. But if you don't want to, just watch the flames and ask your gang to help you remember when you come back, when you stop watching the flames and you come back. So I shall spend half an hour every day, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of December, asking, show me how to do Phoenix Rising right, how to do it correctly for you so that it helps everyone, not just me. And I shall doodle every day, notes and doodles to remind myself of what my gang has shown me and told me every day. And then on the 25th, when the sun starts moving northwards again, then I shall have a party. I'm sure many of us will. Many of us do celebrate that day for various reasons. I celebrate it because we call it the sun return. It's the day the sun comes back and starts moving northwards again, and we start having 6 months of lighter and lighter and lighter every day. Love it. Excuse me. So I shall have a lovely party on the 25th. And I shall take all my notes the next day. I won't be in any state to be doing anything intelligent on the 25th. But the next day, and the next 12 days actually, those 12 days of Christmas, I shall take all the notes that came from my first meditation on the 20th, from what happened on the 21st when I had my celebration of the day and was affirmed in what I need to do. I've got the basic idea right. And then all the notes that came from the 3 days of standstill, go through them gently and start putting them together. But I'll also have my gang with me. When I settle down to do a bit of that work every day for the 12 days of Christmas, I shall be settling down saying, right, show me how to put these together and add in more that I need to know, so that my steps become more refined and definitely one to the next, to the next, to the next. And so that Phoenix Rising becomes. That's what it's all about for all of us. It's about becoming. Are you someone who wants to become? I am all the time. And we're always becoming. And alchemy, Phoenix Rising, is about becoming. Becoming you, the real, true, authentic you that is your spirit self inside. So that's what I'm going to be doing for Midwinter. And if you'd like to come with me, you now have this. You can look it up, you can write it down again for yourself, and you can do the same thing. You can choose. You can go in on the 20th, on Midwinter's Eve, and say, I really want to do this. Is this what you need? Is this what you, my allies, need me to be doing right now? Does this help you? And then on the 21st, you can affirm exactly what you found out, what you need to do, and celebrate the darkness of the womb. Remember, 21st is the day of darkness. So you can celebrate the darkness of the womb and put your seed, your idea, your wish, which is your seed, into that womb of darkness to begin to grow. And then, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, you gift yourself time. Gift yourself half an hour with a cuppa of something you like, by the fire, curled up, or outside, under a tree if it's nice, whatever. Curled up with your notebook and ask your gang, your allies, to show you how to bring that idea of yours to fruit. And not jot down every day, jot down what they show you. Do that for 3 days. It's you time. You deserve it. And so does other world deserve that you do it. So you gift yourself those 3 days. And on the 25th, have this wonderful party that hopefully you're going to have. Even if it's just with you and your gang. And it's perfectly okay and good to have fun on your own. You don't have to be in a crowd of people. But have your celebration of sun return, of when the sun starts coming back northwards to give us more light every day. And then, why not give yourself half an hour for the next 12 days to start really working on your plan with your gang, with your allies, and building it so that it starts to becoming real. So it starts to get its feet in the ground, and you've got something to work with. What a lovely way to spend midwinter. And you're getting your own plans done. And those aren't New Year's resolutions you're going to drop by February. They're going to be what you want to do over the coming year. So have a glorious midwinter, everyone. I'm going to be back, I hope, next week, just before Christmas. I might have a story for you then, I think. I've got one. Have a lovely midwinter, and I'll see you next week for another podcast. Bye for now.